I'm going to record some more Kirby since that file failed the other day.
So I was gonna practice like soldering today, but there you have to capture more footage, so I'm gonna just gonna do it what we did the other day. I'll play some more Bloodborne.
Yeah. Yep. Sounds good to me.
It just kind of needed right now, I guess. So I kind of had a little bit of a breakthrough on this yesterday.
Yeah.
It's silly, but you know, going into this, I don't really know what to expect.
You don't know the mechanics that you need to watch out for.
Right. I mean, I didn't know that there was a durability issue thing that you had to worry about with your weapons. I mean, I should have expected it.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. But it's something that I didn't. I started wondering why am I getting stronger, but I'm doing less and less damage?
Mm-hmm.
So I did that. I realized that I was just using the starting equipment, the starting clothes, which didn't help me at all.
Yeah.
And now I've done that, and I've found the workbench to enhance my weapons a little bit. And I beat my first boss.
Oh man, that's a big step. Was it the guy in the graveyard?
No, I could not beat him. I found something else. It was like this big, like this creature with all these tentacles.
I don't know. I don't know if I beat that
on the
one.
Great Bridge is where it was.
I feel like I may have not done that one. I think I saw it and I was like, oh, this is tough.
Yeah, I mean, I rang the bell to see if someone would come and help me with it after I died a few times, and no one showed up. And then I just went for it myself, and eventually got it.
So I'm recording more Kirby today because my Kirby recording screwed up.
Yeah. So I got some new weapons, which is nice too.
Are you sticking with that saw sword thing?
Well, no, I switched over. I got like a regular saw, but this thing is crazy. It like becomes a hammer.
Oh.
But I also switched over. I got the where is it? Can I do it like that? No. Oh, the cane, the whip cane. Because someone says, oh, it's pretty good for crowd control. So I figured that'd be a good one to...
Yeah, I used the whip cane.
All the way through?
Yeah. I mean, upgraded variations of it, I guess.
Yeah. The other thing that I didn't know about was the whole... Like, you talked about the parry thing. So if you shoot them when they're about to attack,
mm-hmm.
you'll hear this noise. And they're like stunned, and you can kill them with one hit a lot of times.
Ah. Yeah, that's definitely a big mechanic in this game that
it doesn't change the fact that I can still die real quick.
Oh yeah.
Like I just did. Like a little bit. Do you know anyone who I can ask to do a translation patch of NES?
Well, I mean, ultimately, it comes down to whether people even have the interest in it, you know. So I
mean, there's no real place to request something like that. I mean, you can on forums or something like that, but I think it just like comes down to.
But I mean, it comes down to whether there's any interest, and two, certain games just have technical issues that make translation patches, extremely difficult, and so there's Usually, when a game doesn't have a translation patch, there's oftentimes a good reason that it doesn't.
Right. See, I just killed that thing on the one hit. It's kind of nice. So, but it's kind of tough to. I don't know. I had a breakthrough with it, but I'm still unsure. I'm just like if it's for me yet. Just as cool as it was, I was a little bored by it last night after just playing the same part over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I find Bare Knuckle 3 translated, but not 1 and 2. Just because there's not a lot of text. What do you mean? Like, wait, I find Bare Knuckle. Well, you find Bare Knuckle 3 translated because they changed a lot of stuff in the game, and what you're basically finding is like what is often called a restoration, where they've taken all the Japanese gameplay and restored it to the Japanese version, but maintain the English translation from the English release. But that's why you're finding translations of 3, because there wasn't any changes in 1 or 2. Oh, my gun is empty. See, it doesn't sound. It's like you got to get them on a certain frame. They updated their logo for the Super SCS NES Pro. Was that the one that before was like the neon one? More bullets is what I really need. What about dialogue in the games that are mistranslated? Well, I mean, sometimes games are retranslated by people, but I mean, I think that's a lot of effort if it doesn't, unless it's something like a working designs game. But it doesn't always work. Like for some reason, I got that guy. It didn't seem to work that time. It made the noise, but he didn't stab him. Come on. But I mean, it's like Tri said, it just comes down to the desire of people to want to do it. I mean, sometimes things are mistranslated. Other times it's just a decision when it comes to like localizing it. Oh, Stone Age Gamer, like the cartoon caveman, like their logo.
Oh, that. I mean, I kind of like their caveman guy.
but maybe not on the label of your expensive flash cartridge.
I guess, maybe. Oh no, I never had a problem with their caveman.
The Japanese version of Yuk Troublemakers or Mischief Makers. What did they change from the like? What does that version have that the American was taken out of the American? The voice acting is better. Well, I mean, you might find some where it's just like a restoration of that. I mean, that would be a case where they just put the Japanese voices back in, but maintain the. Sometimes those are also referred to as undubs. I mean, like. I do feel like you can just, like, regular guys can just ruin your day anyways in this.
Oh, absolutely.
And it is, maybe I just haven't found enough of the lamp posts yet. But,
it can be a trek sometimes.
Yeah, and that's kind of the worst part. Like when you have no idea where you're going, and you have like a lot of the experience points or the blood have a ton of blood echoes, and you're just like terrified you're gonna die, and then you have no idea like how to get back to where you're at to find this.
I mean, a lot of people would say that's kind of the appeal of the game, though.
That's true.
The tension.
Oh, thanks. Not a moo, not a mool. Sorry, not a more. Sorry, like the R was difficult to see on my monitor. Yeah, I mean, I understand. For some people, that's a big part of the appeal, I guess. This is where I started. The gate is closed by device. I got met Retro Morgan's here. Thanks for coming to hang out. Yeah, can you read that question? The most recent question about Game Boy interface.
Yeah. Hang on, I'm gonna stop recording this. Got a GBI Swiss question. I'm trying to boot the basic version of GBI so I can scale up to fill my TV screen from Swiss so I can force 240p. Is there any way to do this with both GBI and Swiss on the same SD card? Do I need to create a Swiss boot disk? You should be able to boot Swiss and then select, you can select like where you're loading software from within Swiss. So I think you choose like SD card or memory card or something like that.
Who do we recommend for repro carts like Earthbound Uncut and stuff? I gotta be honest, I've not bought any repro carts in several years now, so I'm not even sure where to go for that stuff. I think the last time it's been like, gosh, like over 5 years since I bought a repro cart. There's a lot of people that sell them now. I'm sure the people that I use before don't even exist anymore. Oh, see this freaking thing, this giant pig. You remember the giant pig?
Oh yeah, those. You can sneak up to them and like stab them in the butt.
Oh yeah. Well, I kind of got him when he was. Oh geez, here he, for crying out loud. I'm just sometimes you just gotta run, right?
Those crows that flop around the ground are so creepy.
They're super creepy. I think this pig is like way scary. I'm trapped. The pig is way scary. It makes you think of the. I feel like this whole game is like. It's like Nine Inch Nails' Closer music video put into like a game.
I feel like
the
this
pig makes
part,
me think of it too.
I feel like this part, there was a lot to do, and I feel like I skipped over a lot of it and don't remember coming back here, if I'm remembering right. I mean, there are many routes through the game, for sure.
Right. I mean, I'm still in this first area. When I choose SD card, it says it's reading it for a long time, then it doesn't show me any files. I've messed around with the iron for a little bit. I was going to do... I was going to mess with it today as part of the stream, but Try had a lot more capture that needed to be done. So I decided to do this.
I already captured a little bit of this game, but there was a color depth thing on this thing that I didn't understand, and some games I recorded at a low color depth when I didn't really need to. I'll record a little more of this. I was really impressed with this version of the game. I honestly didn't expect it to be 60 frames. Could have swore you said you two weren't a fan of the brutally difficult Souls games. I am a big fan, and this is the first time Coury has ever tried one. So
yeah,
you must be mistaken.
Yeah, it's well. I mean, I'm unsure yet. Like I go back and forth. So that's why I'm not very good at it. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of things I could be doing differently, but this is my first time. I haven't played any of the Dark Souls games, so I'm kind of learning.
I'm definitely a big fan of those games.
I see that Critics is saying moving to Kentucky in a few months. My current job in is Edgewood, a nice area with low crime. Edgewood is where the hospital stuff is. That's where like a lot of the doctors live. So it should be fine. That's where St. Elizabeth Hospital is, like the main area, the main part of the hospital. I do like this hammer, but it uses up your stamina pretty quick.
Mm.
No too many games updates. I mean, we haven't even like really even talked about it, to be honest.
I feel like
It's not looking good, I don't think.
yeah, I haven't not really done anything.
Although did you see the
point.
t-shirts? Did you get the email about their t-shirts today?
I saw it, but I didn't read it.
Oh yeah, I mean the t-shirts actually is pretty cool. Actually,
oh, yeah, what is it?
It's an Animal Crossing logo.
Oh yeah.
It says "Welcome to Too Many Games." Yeah, that's kind of cool. And scary looking rats, the giant rats in this too.
Oh, those are in Souls too.
See this, like that's. Can you climb up these faster? Because this drove me crazy last night. Like I died here because there's these dudes that start shooting you when you're climbing up the ladder, and it's like that's kind of bullcrap.
I have to say, from what I've played of Woolly or Crafted World so far, I like it, but I like Woolly World better.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what I felt it was going to be the case with it too. We do appreciate the offer, Morgan. Like I think that I just think it's more about just scheduling our time than it is like having the place to stay currently.
Yeah. Going to Big Montgomery's Fort.
Oh yeah.
In Woolly World.
Yeah, the freaking crows are pretty scary looking. Like the noise they make.
Yeah.
I can see how playing this at night would be pretty creepy.
Oh yeah.
I'm afraid I'm gonna fall down. Beware of bird. The notes are so... They feel very hastily written.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know how, I mean, they're constructed using like pieces of.
Oh,
like,
really? Okay.
Yeah, they're like pieces of pre-made words and phrases.
I see. Okay, well that makes sense then.
So there's a very distinct character to the style, you know?
Yeah. We do appreciate that, Morgan. We'll let you know. It hasn't been something that's really come up, unfortunately. I know that it's a lot closer than it seems. That's the cold blood dew. Do we have any plans for types of videos we want to do outside the RGB videos? Like, comparing games with ports on other consoles. Yeah, I mean that's
kind of what we're doing. We're actually like really want to focus on that kind of stuff. Actually.
Yeah, I mean that's what our Castlevania video was like, and I'm doing one that's really long about the original Phantasy Star games right now. I mean I've spent a lot of time reworking the script. It's because I think that some of the versions of it are less interesting than others. I had a script written where I was kind of going through everything in release order, essentially. But if you take, like, if you look at something, oh, come on, like, where's that guy hitting me from? If I lost my train of thought because I was getting this guy. Just like these massive emulation compilations are not super interesting to look at, I don't think. So I had a lot of stuff about that in there, but I've pared that down. And I kind of cover it in its own segment. Like I do all the releases that are like that at one time. But it's more about the other versions that are tailored for the platform that they're being released on or ported to.
Yeah.
Out of this, the script is like 16 pages right now as I get into the newest version for the Switch. So.
Oh, so you still haven't finished?
No, I plan to finish it tonight.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I have a lot of stuff already in there. I meant to finish it yesterday, but my kids are on spring break, and they were both here yesterday, so I didn't have as much time. But it's actually kind of good because I've gone back, and even yesterday I was just going back and reworking a lot of stuff to trim it down, condense. And the good thing is, we were just talking about how script writing takes us a long time sometimes. Well, it does for me a lot. And I always come up with like new things, like workarounds or new things I'd like to add in the stuff all the time. And it's helped with this a lot.
Well, I feel like script writing has been a longer process for me as well.
Right. And a good thing about it is that we've kind of been working on, okay, so like really listing out the comparisons we want to do ahead of time. Like, or as we go. And using that to inform where the script goes. There's been times where we've have not optimized our time, and we wrote how we think things are going to go, and then by the time we actually comes around to like capturing it, it's like, oh, well, it's not like how I thought it was going to be at all.
Am I doing wireless 3DS capture or something hardwired? I'm doing, I have a hardwired solution that I'm doing here that, all things considered, is pretty nice. Not perfect, but pretty, it's in my opinion, I think the best thing I can do right now. Our friend, the 8-Bit Duke, got me some of the wireless software capture style. So there is going to be a mention of that in the video, but the video is going to be interesting because it's not going to be so much about like, hey, here's like the best perfect way to do it. It's like, here's a bunch of imperfect ways you can kind of do this.
And it's kind of a problem right now.
Yeah. So it's more like, here's what the kinds of things we would like to see in the future.
Yeah, it's going to be definitely a different kind of video. I saw someone mentioned if like our thoughts on the Sega Genesis Mini, and I actually, like, right before we started streaming, I just wrapped up a video for our Patreon supporters where I went through all like 30 games that I think are going to be on it. So I'm going to release
You
that
think
later
are going to be on it?
Yeah, that I'd like to see on it, or that I think have a good chance of being on it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like 35 minutes of me talking about that. I'll try to trim it down a little bit, but we'll see. Yeah, I mean we're familiar with the Game Chasers. We've seen a lot of their stuff. I haven't seen like every episode that they've ever made, but I've seen a good amount of them. I read some stuff about increasing your vitality is important early on, so I've been kind of focusing on doing that.
Mm.
I have two bloodstone shards. It's not being made in-house. It's being made by M2, who has worked a lot with Sega and done a lot of their best compilations available on the system. So they're working very close with them. I mean, Troy doesn't really watch like almost anything on YouTube. You only watch stuff if I link it to something.
Yeah, I try to, but I just it's not for lack of interest. It's just like lack of time management skills.
Well, no, but it's also there's something to be said about, you know, when you get to work, you turn off all outside influences.
Well, I mean, I don't always turn off all distractions, but I try to, you know, and
yeah. I mean, that's something I've been trying to do a lot more as well. Yeah, I did have to twist it for the Marvel stuff, but he's definitely enjoying it now. I mean,
well, it's not that you had to twist my arm, but it's like
well, you were just intimidated by the amount of.
Yeah, it just seemed like a lot, and now I'm like almost entirely caught up.
Yeah. Yeah. So what do you have? What's next? I mean, you did Spider-Man and Guardians yesterday.
Thor Ragnarok and
Black Panther, right?
Black Panther, yep.
Oh wow! So you are almost there, man. I'm excited to see what you think of Thor, because it's my favorite one. Like, I've kind of decided that it is my favorite one.
I'm excited to see.
Yeah. Is there like stealth kills? Can you sneak up behind him and kill him with one hit?
I mean, there's definitely bonus damage for stealth hits.
So yeah, I mean, we should achieve becoming a Twitch affiliate today. I don't really even know what that entails. Is there anybody in the chat that can tell us what it means to be a Twitch affiliate?
I mean, you can monetize to a small extent, I think.
Like, what just hit me? Like, who is shooting at me? Who's shooting me? This guy. I want like a top hat like this guy has. Okay, you can monetize from subscriptions and bits. And some incentives involve allowing subs to use your emotes for that Twitch chat. Okay. I mean, I don't. So, how do bits? What do bits even do? Like, what are they? I've seen them before, but
I think it's like some sort of digital currency that people can earn, and I think they can give it to streamers, and that is real money for them. I think
1 bit equals 1 cent. Interesting. It's kind of amazing how long it's kind of taken us to achieve that, though. They don't define it as currency to keep it from being regulated. Interesting. That's but it essentially is. There's something definitely on the other side of this door here, so I'm going to try and go through here.
right. We're aware of partner as well, although we.
I don't know if we want to do that because don't they make it so you can't stream anywhere else or something like that?
Oh, I don't.
I've heard like that you can't stream anywhere else or something like that.
Well, I mean, regardless, like we just can't dedicate that kind of time.
Right.
You know, like.
But being able to get like bits, like
streaming is not what we're about. You know.
Yeah. What's the best way to collect games plus hard to find games for reasonable prices? I don't know. I do not have answer for that. I guess. I mean, we just like. I'm very rarely like after specific thing. I mean, very rarely do I go out and be like, okay, so this is what I'm looking for. I like to go to stores and stuff, or you know, like Goodwill or something like that, and just say like, oh, like this is what they have. Very rarely do I have like anything specific that I'm after.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't go into each situation looking for something specific. It's a nice surprise when I find something I am interested in getting. So. Come on. Like, I just killed all those guys, and the last guy killed me.
I'm about to try Star Fox 64 DS for the first time.
Oh, yeah?
The text crawl is like at a Star Wars angle. It's kind of funny. Yeah, I've never... Enjoying new Trails of Cold Steel on PS4.
I got it. I've not.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah. You can transfer. I was able to transfer my saves, which is kind of nice. I'd like to replay it that way. I guess. I mean, it runs at double the frame rate. It has a turbo mode that like makes the entire game move like everything moves at 4 times the speed. So if you want to like go through, because there's a lot of stuff I didn't do in my first playthrough.
See, I honestly thought that was going to bother me, like RPG speed up modes. Like, the first time I really tried that was with Final Fantasy XII Zodiac Age. And I didn't do it like when I was going through levels normally. But then, like, if I was like backtracking through a level or like looking at another corner for treasure or something, like I would turn it on. And then just turn it off when, you know, if I was like grinding a bit or something, yeah, I mean, I'll admit it was a lot nicer than I thought it would be.
Yeah, I was
kind of grumpy about it at first, though. I don't think I can skip this training.
Yeah, I mean, thrift stores are definitely hit and miss these days. There's not a lot of... It's not the way it used to be. And even that kind of stuff, like, when I moved here, when I moved to Cincinnati, it was the only time that I really started to take advantage of it. And I've definitely had some good finds during my time, but it's, like, become less and less, for sure. I've heard that the Goodwill that I went to, that the manager sells on eBay. So that's why there hasn't been anything in a long time. Which is incredibly frustrating. This hammer is pretty nice. I like how it works because you stick your sword into the hammer part of it. I like how you modify your weapons. Like they have these two different modes, and it always the way it works is always pretty cool.
Is there really no way to skip this tutorial?
People used to really get on Nintendo about that, about the unskippable tutorials.
See, I don't remember that being was that
Well,
a big
just
problem
like
for
during
a certain time?
I think like during like on the Wii it was, or maybe on the Wii U.
It's just annoying here though because of like I know how to play Star Fox, you know.
Yes.
And it's like super long.
Yeah, you are kidding yourself if you expect thrift store deals. A lot of times when I go to thrift stores now, like the main thing I'm even after is like various electronics that you never know might be useful, or maybe certain like wires or cabling or something like that. I looking for say DVD VCR combos or something like that. So this thing's always trying to break through this door. I'm gonna see how challenging he's gonna be. This thing. What do you think this thing is right here?
Oh gosh! Finally, it says press start to choose quit training.
It's just this thing. Come on.
What is this trial run now?
The trial run?
I don't even know. Like I thought I was going to be playing the game now.
Z report. We're in upstate New York. This thing looks like the Bethesda fountain in Central Park. I wish that there was some of these doors that I could just open. Like, I wish I could open this door. Maybe
no,
I can.
I would not like to retry. I just want to play the game. Wasn't this game kind of expensive for a while?
Yeah. Did you get one of the selects or something?
I got one of this. I got a selects version. I didn't even realize that it existed for a long time.
Yeah, but it was definitely expensive for a while. Do you think this game and all these games become easier as time goes on? The longer you play them, they start out challenging, but then they become much easier. Or they kind of. Is there even a actual
it's like
real last boss in them?
Huh?
Is there even a actual real last boss in them?
Well, like I told you, there's like a few different last bosses in Bloodborne, I think, depending on what you do. Like, I'm pretty sure my last boss was kind of different than other people's.
Okay, let's...
I can't remember if it's Dark Souls or Demon Souls doesn't. One of them doesn't really have a last boss, but I forget which one.
Is there a map of the world?
No. But it's like, I mean, in my opinion, it's like the best like Metroid style 3D world design, in my opinion. Like in all those, not all the games, like especially the first Dark Souls and Bloodborne are really good. Dark Souls 3 was really good. Dark Souls 2 is like definitely the black sheep.
Yeah.
And
because that didn't have any involvement of like the main guy, right?
or very little, I believe. Yeah. And like the big difference is that there's some really interesting sort of drawings people have done to show how the Dark Souls 1 world like fits together perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
And Dark Souls 2 like makes no logical sense at all how the world is laid out. But like everything like fits together like in kind of a mind-blowing way in Dark Souls 1. Like it's there is very little video game trickery in terms of, you know, this space couldn't actually exist because it would, you know, it would interfere with this space. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you know, I mean, think about how like RPG buildings are bigger on the inside than outside or something like that.
Yes. Yeah.
Like Dark Souls 1 has none of that. Like it is basically perfectly laid out.
I wish the items you'd pick up, like the text wouldn't stay on screen until you hit the button.
Huh?
Whenever you pick up an item, you gotta hit OK every time.
Oh yeah.
I wish there's a way to turn that off.
Man, Pepe's voice is very wrong in this. We're Star Fox. Perhaps during a stream you could play Ease 1 on TurboGrafx 16. Should only take you around 1 hour or so to complete. I mean, I don't know. I definitely do not know the game that well. Coury might.
Let's run. Oh, jeez. I'm on the Great Bridge. I don't want to lose all my stuff, so I'm just gonna run here. They don't chase you towards the lantern, though. At least that kind of gives you a safe space. I would like to replay Ease 1. I could see myself doing that, actually.
Oh, there was a sound of some kind.
I just saw somebody following.
Thank you.
Hunter Chief Emblem. Key to the gate to the Grand Cathedral's round plaza. I'm tempted to get the repeating pistol. Because it seems like it'd be nice to have. I do it. Is like, what kind of items are okay to sell, you think? Is there certain items that
I don't really remember, to be honest.
I could sell my Saw Cleaver +1 for 500 blood echoes. I got a torch, so it's a weapon. And I actually realized it was a weapon. I guess I could sell my original starting gear. You think it's okay? It's okay to sell that stuff? I mean,
I don't remember.
Maybe I can just put it in storage. Do you have? Is there a limit to your
storage? I don't remember.
No, I mean just to your inventory.
I forget.
I mean, do you become encumbered if you carry too much? And I wonder if it...
If you equip too much, you can become slower. At least that's how Dark Souls works. But if you're carrying too much, I don't remember if carrying slows you down. But you can definitely be slowed down by equipping too much. In Souls, at least.
Carrying does not have penalties. Okay. So I'll just put some of this stuff in storage, though, and maybe I can sell it when I need extra cash.
That's more than enough, Star Fox.
That was that version was done by Q Games, I think, wasn't it?
Was it really?
No, not Q Games. The people that made Pixel Junk. Was that Q? That's not Q Games.
Yeah. Well, that was Q Games. Yeah. I don't know if they did it though. I would have assumed it would have been like
they did.
I assumed it was like
Dylan
Grezzo, because like Grezzo did like the Zelda remakes.
Right, but I know that. Yeah, you're right. It's Q Games. So that because it was because Dylan Cuthbert worked on that new version, which is kind of a cool way for that to have a connection to the first one, I guess.
Yeah. Let's play some Resident Evil Revelations, as the case spine says.
Yeah.
We have issues using Toro on 20L5s, and my Toro doesn't even work anymore.
You need a new one of those cables on the side there.
Probably. I wonder if I can do like a chapter select in this.
I was equipped with the repeating pistol.
Would you like to use the Circle Pad Pro? Oh wow, this.
Yeah.
I don't remember that even being out when this game came out.
It came out right around the same time.
So I could use the little new 3DS nub. I'll say yes. Controls will be set to Type D. Let me check what that is. Walk, run, rotate. Huh.
Like, why is he? You gotta aim the camera downwards to be able to attack at a downward angle, you think?
I can do a New Game Plus. Sure, why not?
I'm gonna see how the torch works. There's my blood echoes.
I remember how crazy it was. Like, this game, like how it looked for new 3DS. You know what? I'm going to. I'm not going to use the Circle Pad Pro because I feel like, especially with the nub, my movement is going to be too jerky, and since I'm recording footage, yeah, I mean, Control Type A is like Resident Evil, or no, B, I guess, like Resident Evil 4 or 5 style, which I am.
I wish you didn't have to slow down and walk to use to heal.
How do I turn? Oh, I have to hold beat? No. That's not that. Must want type A? Yeah.
Get off me, come on. What? How do I get...
There we go.
And then, like what?
Turn subtitles off.
I mean, sometimes he does these attacks. I have no idea how it even happens. I don't know, like I don't know, and it feels like it's just like actively working against you all the time, and it does feel like you're at a disadvantage at all times. Like even like I can't even tell how far those enemies were from me. Like just I'm back and forth. I don't know if it's
Well, I mean, you were always very unsure, so
yeah. Okay, well, at least I'm not alone. Like, yeah, I mean, I'm just getting to the point now where I'm not sure if it's just... I mean, I understand that it's a very slow-paced game. I don't know. I'm not feeling any real sense of satisfaction about things.
oh, you sound a little satisfied that you beat a boss.
Yeah, but I mean, that's like long since worn off now. Like, how come that like the counter thing, it only seems to move or work a couple times. Okay, so like so driving or calling ambulance, like the mechanics themselves are actively keeping you from experiencing as much of the game as you probably want to. Yeah.
I don't know if that's true. I mean, part of what I think makes the games great is that you don't have to experience the entire game. You know, there's huge detailed parts of the game that are very optional. I'm just running around trying to get.
And I was saying the other day that I think that enemies are kind of like they're on the same playing field as you, but I don't think so. I feel like enemies do a lot of times just like tank through your attacks, like, and you start like you are gonna take a hit no matter what. I mean, for this thing, like
I mean, people have done no damage runs of Resident Evil, or not Resident Evil. I'm playing Resident Evil, Souls type games.
I mean, is the idea that are you supposed to use like attack combos, you think?
Combos?
Or just like multiple swings at a time? Or you just like swing one time, back up. Swing one time, back away.
I mean, it's up to you.
There's a player that did a back-to-back-to-back, all souls, no damage, in one sitting. I don't know. Doesn't help that I've like absolutely I've been in the same places this entire time, like the same, like it feels like I'm not progressing like at all.
I mean, it usually feels that way for me for a while at first, and then it's kind of like, oh, I could go here, I could go here. I did not like the level design of Bloodborne as much as Dark Souls 1 or 3, personally. I felt like there were a lot more kind of dead ends.
Yeah.
Like you could get something cool there, but it wasn't like necessary. Like there was a long time in Bloodborne where I felt like I was making no real progress. But Dark Souls 1 and 3 did not feel that way. I mean, who knows? You might like Dark Souls more.
Yeah. I just like the look at this more, though. More the creepy
I mean,
kind of
there's
gothic
something to
horror
be
of it.
said for sort of the generic knights and stuff of Dark Souls, I feel.
Mm-hmm.
There's a certain appeal to that. But also, you know, aside from that genericness, like a lot of the other, you know, creature design and stuff is pretty creative.
Do you have the same kind of run-ins with multiple enemies that just kind of come out of your field of view all the time in Dark Souls?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I try to be very careful, like to progress very. I mean, I walk very slowly in these games.
Yeah.
You know, so I always try to make it so that, you know, that kind of stuff isn't an issue. Play some Kid Icarus Uprising.
Oh yeah, you talked about that last time.
Which I might not be able to look at the TV while I play this.
That's all right.
I was trying the Citra emulator for 3DS yesterday.
Right.
And I tried Kid Icarus Uprising on, and I mean it actually controlled quite well for the flying parts, but the on ground parts was the controls. The using a mouse for the touchscreen wasn't so good there. This game is so good, though.
Such a good soundtrack in it too. It's got some. I usually don't like the kind of humor that is in it, but I thought it worked really well on that.
Yeah, it's just the script is very charming.
This is where I was at before. I'm just going around in circles. I can't find where I'm supposed to go to progress. That's where I went earlier. So I'm going around in a big circle now again. So if you don't die and you just kill everybody and they stay dead, they never respawn as long as you don't die.
As long as you don't die or go back to the hunter's dream.
So you think it's possible that you could just like kill all the enemies in the game?
Absolutely, it's possible.
How do I open that up? So this thing says there's a hidden path ahead. Beware of high spot. Okay. I think FromSoft should start putting easy modes. That's kind of like, I guess that's like been a recent hot button topic. I thought people that really liked it to be hard, a lot of those people are saying, oh, it's hard, but now they have something that's too hard, and now everyone's like, oh, I guess maybe we do need easy mode. But those, like, a lot of those same people were championing the fact that it was so hard before.
Right.
But now,
I mean, I guess the
hard.
perspective would be, oh, you should try to like this because you'll be missing out if you don't. But some people might just not like it no matter what they try.
Right. I mean, I think that they just make the games they want to make. I don't think that they have to put easy mode in it. If they don't want to put an easy mode in it, like, who cares? Like,
I mean, it's obviously been successful enough as it is.
Yeah, I mean, if people don't want to buy it because it's too hard, then obviously that was a risk that they were willing to take.
Yeah, and it's actually really amazing that it paid off.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a lot of people complaining about it. I mean, they're not. They might not reach their they're not really reaching their potential customer base or whatever. But
it's amazing though that it ended up being as successful as it has. Like, I never would have guessed.
Yeah.
That like something that's like so infamously difficult would have become the success that it has now.
What is kind of interesting, like stuff like this where it's not really reaching the customer base that it could have if it had easy mode. It's this desire to see these companies just like make as much money as they possibly can at the cost of them wanting of making the game that they want to make. I mean, obviously, like, they didn't care. They just wanted to make the game that they wanted to make, whether or not it has it's too hard or if it's doesn't have a difficulty mode. I mean, they didn't care about the level of it was, they weren't afraid of affecting the sales.
I mean, they knew that. Well, I mean, the way I look at it, I mean, difficulty levels are good, but at the same time, I feel like it's probably a lot harder to make sure that the difficulty level you do have is well balanced.
Right.
If you've got a bunch of difficulty levels.
Yeah, Kid Icarus, it does have a good, the way they implemented the difficulty in Kid Icarus is pretty great. Someplace new.
Yeah. I mean, Sakurai has done the Kid Icarus style difficulty several times. Like, it makes it harder if you're doing well, easier if you're doing bad. I mean, by default, but then you can choose to go harder.
Right.
What was it? There was one game. There was some game that I played a few years ago that I was really impressed with the difficulty of, and I can't remember off the top of my head what it was. But like, the way I described it was like, I constantly felt like I was about to die, but I relatively rarely did. Mm-hmm. Which is like, I think that's like the perfect difficulty level. Like, you should feel like you are like, almost always in trouble, but then, you don't actually die. What game was that?
I don't know. come on. Okay, I thought I was done for there. See, like that is. It's that might just been my limit. I mean, I was fine. There's like, then I got hit by this thing that just came up from off screen, and hit me twice, and I was dead. Like I didn't even know it was there, even like despite being completely careful about it. It blends into the color of the room. But that might have just been my limit. Because I was like, oh, I just found this new area and how to get there, and now I have no idea how to even get back there. I don't know if I can do it. I might play something else for a few minutes.
Well, we're technically past the time of the
That's true.
Stream anyway.
That's true. I don't know. I mean, it is very possible that this is just not for me. I have no idea how long I played. There's no stats or anything like that, so I can't tell you how many hours I played, but I've definitely played for more than 5 hours.
Mm-hmm.
If it was like this, but it had like Platinum Games gameplay, then I think I'd like it probably a lot more.
See, I mean, you know, Platinum Games gameplay is fine, but I like the Soul style gameplay.
Yeah, I mean,
more.
if you put if this had a dodge that would slow down time, I think I would like it a lot more. So, what can I say? What can I say? I mean, I tried. I think I'm gonna call it. It's just not for me. Head back to the Hunter's Dream. I will eject the game from my system. Maybe I'll take it on again in, you know, a few years. So, I mean, what can I say? What can I say?
Hey, you know, it's fine.
Yeah. I mean, I'll hang on to the game, obviously, but
I mean, it's not worth anything.
no. Well, I mean, I do have the Game of the Year edition. The European Game of the Year edition that has the DLC on the disc. How I'd handle Hollow Knight? Well, I mean, I'm interested in that too. I might like that a bit more. I mean, is it just challenging, but it has like it's a little bit faster paced?
I know next to nothing about Hollow Knight. I mean, I
just said it's
ordered
supposed to be really good.
Yeah, I mean, apparently it's supposed to be really good. So I ordered the who was it the
Fan Gamer, yeah.
think?
I mean,
I ordered it. Huh?
I still need to order it. Hopefully it's not too late. I don't think I missed it, but
yeah, I ordered that. Just because people say it's really good, and it sounds like a game I would probably like from the very little I know of it. So sure.
yeah. Well, I mean,
I also have I have Salt and Sanctuary as well, which I
yeah,
don't
which
know
I
much
like,
about that either.
but I think that that's supposed to be very similar to this also. But maybe I'd be a lot more open to it in a 2D space,
Yeah,
because
maybe
things like
so.
that won't happen. Where it's just like, okay, so this thing just came from off screen from behind me, and I basically had no chance of knowing it was there or dodging it. I think that maybe I'd like that more.
It's a new 3DS with a capture kit that you can't really easily get anymore. I'm making a video about the state of 3DS video output, and it's it's more about like what we would like to see happen, how we would like to see this stuff improved than like stuff that's accessible. But I think it'll be an interesting look at it. Yes, you're right. The state is bad. The state of 3DS video output is bad.
Yeah, but I think one of the reasons you're hoping to do this is to hopefully spur on the ambitions of people too.
Yeah, I mean, not to be so vain as to think that our video could have that kind of influence, but like both Eon and Insurrection Industries, who have made the most recent GameCube products, like said, like they were specifically inspired by our first GameCube video to make what they've made. And so I thought, oh, that kind of blows my mind, but it'd be nice to sort of do the same thing for put out our thoughts on 3DS.
That's the hope, at least.
Yeah, the wireless stuff is like it's a nice option, barring anything having another option. Basically, I guess I mean, the 8-bit Duke provide that material for us. It's not a huge focus of the video. Like the video is more gone. It kind of like hits on everything that we're aware of relatively quickly, and then focuses a little bit more on the solution I have, which I feel is kind of like the best thing that has existed. That was accessible, not aside from like stuff Nintendo makes that you're not allowed to get. Feel like it's kind of the best solution. So it's kind of like, okay, here's what it does well, here's what it doesn't do well. Let's see these concepts improved upon.
All right, I think that's gonna do it. That's gonna do it. I'm gonna go record voiceover for you.
All right, sounds good.
All right, thanks for hanging out, everybody. We'll see what
later.
See what happens with the affiliate stuff. I don't know if I'll get an email or if I have to file for it or what. I don't know. We'll see.
All right.
See you soon.